Yo, 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 what's going on, man? Jeremiah, Black Development Network. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. I just a couple things real quick. I have two videos dropping Sunday. One's going to drop in the morning, obviously, and then one's going to drop in the afternoon. Like, subscribe, comment, man. Appreciate the subs. Appreciate the comments, man. Nobody's above criticism. That's why we want to have this conversation. I'm going to more have the conversation rather than like the insults and shit. But if you got insults, I don't care, man. Put them bitches in the comments, but dog. This is not one of my favorite YouTubers on here. His name's Bernard Riley. If you like him, you like him. But he's kind of like a black conservative that's in the black manosphere and has these kind of comments or whatever. So we're gonna check it out, see what he's talking about. Um, uh, I think the video is called "Lil Big Nate." That's the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life, though. Um, and OGJ Speed get into a heated argument over black women. So that's the name of the video. If y'all want to go to Bernard Riley's page and see it, I think this is the craziest argument I've ever heard. But it's cool though. Let's talk about it.
The child's getting
Why are
producing.
you getting so worked up?
I'm getting so
Why are you
worked
getting
up
so
because I'm
worked
not.
up?
I'm getting
Don't
so
yell
worked up
at me.
because every time I say
Do
something.
not yell at me, sir.
Okay,
I
okay,
have a
I'm sorry.
Already off to a crazy start. Like, y'all supposed to be y'all supposed to be like the alphas, right? The black manosphere, the guys is gonna lead us to the next chapter in black men, and y'all on fucking YouTube arguing and shit. Okay.
Why can't, and I know what the problem is. So many single moms, they never sit down with their daughters and explain to them the mistakes they made, the terrible decisions that they made in men, and how you should do something different. It has something to do with this jealousy, envy thing that some moms have for their daughters as they grow older and more beautiful. But if a single dad like me with no experience raising a girl, no experience braiding a girl's hair, I mean, I didn't know anything. If I can raise a young woman that looks like that, why can't you? Why can't you? Why are your daughters out here causing so much chaos?
Now let me also say that I don't know the beginning parts of this argument. So I'm not going to argue from what I believe they're talking about. I'm just going to take their arguments. Um, so let me say this too. Like I kind of actually agree with that. Sometimes, man, some women just, hey, man, when they have daughters and they see their daughters going out there and getting it, um, and thriving and shit like that, doing shit that they thought that they should have been doing at 20, 25, 30 years old. Some parents do develop envy in their children and stuff like that, which is so sad to me. Like, you're a parent and you develop like an envious, you want your child to be better. I want my legacy to grow, so I could care less if my kid had a, I don't know, 800 credit score at like the age of 21 or something like that, bro. Like, to me that speaks well of me, because it's like, damn, look where you came from. So I don't see why that jealousy thing is. But let me also say this, because he tries to compare the two, and I want to also say that uh what a lot of people don't understand in traditional dynamics, like when we're talking about two-parent households and things like that, the father is seen as the disciplinarian. So the father is seen as the more disciplined, more logical individual. He's going to correct you when you're wrong. He's going to discipline you when you're wrong, and things like that. Mothers are more seen as the nurturers, the educators, the empathy, the sympathy. That doesn't mean the father can't express these details or anything like that, but that's what their role seems as. So in single parent households, man, a lot of single fathers thrive in the disciplinary ways and things like that if they contain some type of empathy for their children and things like that. And the reason why some of them thrive is because, and this is just this part, I'm going to say this is my experience. So if you did not experience this, I'm not holding that against you. I'm here for perspectives. But in my experience, more times than not, fathers get it done because they know they have to get it done. It's not an emotional thing. They know that no one's gonna do this child's hair, so I got to do it. I don't even have time to take it to a hairdresser. I got to do it. Or they find women that can do that. Hey, I have a daughter. Hey, I have a son. He needs his hair cut. You get what I'm saying? So more of the day-to-day routine tasks are usually left up to the men, as women are more seen as the nurturers and the organizers, and those are two different um, roles. I feel like the organizer is the one that kind of like puts things together. Again, like I said, the educator, the emotion in the family, things like that. You know what I mean? And the father's more the disciplinary. They're supposed to really bounce off each other, bro. Like that's why I don't agree with Kevin Samuels when it's and all these manosphere guys when it comes to them talking about the man um is going to bear the burden of basically the entire family. They're supposed to bounce off each other. People listen to their wives and things like that, but sometimes it translates through the husband. You're not going to hear the wife speak up a lot of times. You're going to hear the husband speak up. But don't believe that wife didn't say what she said. The reason why she said what she said was the reason why he did that was because the wife said something. When you see when you see kids get spanked and stuff like that from the father and stuff like that, and that's not to say women don't hand out ass whoopings too, but more times than not, that came from the mom. Hey, whoop his ass. Like, especially if he disrespects and things like that. And at least that's what happens in my family as well. And what I've seen in the dynamics of the relationship, they're supposed to bounce off each other. So when you have single parent households, man, and y'all leaving these women to just simply the emotional part, that's why they can't. There's so much to really teach a child. But yeah.
If a woman could answer that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Well, maybe a woman can't answer that for you, but maybe I'll try to.
Sure, go
Okay.
right ahead.
Okay. I guess this is going to be my closing statement, too. We got to stop asking questions in the second quarter. We got to ask the questions in the first quarter. Why are so many men sleeping with women they know are not qualified or fit to be a mother, and then doing it raw style or whatever happened between you and that sheets in the bedroom?
It's
We got to
not so
start
many men,
asking.
OG.
Okay, okay, no,
OG, it's not so many
I'm
men.
okay. Well, can I finish? Can I
No,
finish?
but I have to correct you. It's not
No, you can
so many
correct me
men.
after I finish, sir. This is my closing
It's
statement.
Yo, why you just let them finish talking, then you can correct them. It wasn't that hard. But let me also say this, bro. It's enough, man. Let's say that it's not the majority. Their arguments are so like feeble, it makes no sense. Let's say that it's not majority of the men, but you guys, again, you guys are saying that men are the creators, men are the guys building. This is like your mantra. This is your statement to saying you guys rule the world and things like that. So if you have this network of men that are going around knocking up women like Nick Cannon and Future, let's say that. Let's say that that's what's happening and shit, and they don't have the money to take care of those. You have to start there. You can't blame the women because a lot of you can't blame just the women. Excuse me. You can't just blame just the women in those situations, and you know damn well that they're not the ones leading the charge in that situation. The sperm comes from the man. Women can't get pregnant. You can't just drop water on the uterus and that it grows a child. You get what I'm saying? So if you're going to put the responsibility on women, you got to put the responsibility on men. Is just the way it is, big dog, and that's all OG is saying. Is like you got to get that under control. You have to get that part under control. You know what I mean? That at least if these guys are going to have sex and produce these children just out of willy nilly, they need to be prepared to take care of these children.
not so many men.
Okay.
You can address what I'm saying now.
Okay, I'm not going to address what you said. I'm going to completely do exactly what I intend to do, because I hear these arguments and I hear these talking points, and this is what it's called pre-maintenance in anything. Anything in life you have what you call pre-maintenance. That's from going to the doctor to everything else. Why is it so hard to understand this from the beginning? That we should vet and make sure who we are sleeping with, and especially if you want to feel it raw dog, you better make sure exactly that the dog you are sleeping with, that it could.
Let me say this. You see how they making all those faces and shit too while this man talking? You see how they make all those faces and shit? That's exactly what the women do when they're on these guys live. Do y'all not see the problem here? No one wants to take accountability. Men don't want to hear that shit. I don't care if they talked about it earlier. I don't care if they heard this 1,000 times. There's no, all right, you know what, OG? Let's hear your perspective and let's bounce the conversation around. It's, oh my God, we got to hear that we're the ones that's the problem. Nigga, you the ones with the platforms. You're the ones that speaking loud and clear saying, hear me roar. I am the best option you ladies have. We are the best options y'all have. We are going to present the data. But then when OG shows you an experience that he's seen where men just are not taking care of just nutting in women, whether it's a little bit or not, it is enough if they are translating to a population problem, which also goes to a economy problem for black people, especially for black people. These are black men talking about this. You get what I'm saying? So even if this argument is so easy to tear apart, you get what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, that's not excusing women. You can also have them in this conversation as well, but see how women don't want to take responsibility and shit like that. These guys are rolling their eyes, and there's a grown ass man who's older than them, telling them this.
Be a person who can raise decent pups. If you are with a woman and she's acting like a aggressive person and she's not good quality woman, then that's the last person you want to impregnate. And so I would like to ask these questions before halftime or second quarter get, and I understand the numbers.
You took us back to the preseason. We was already
The reason why I wanted to do this, Bernard, because there are some young men who's listening to this, and then they always want to start the game in halftime, and I don't want that. I want that to stop.
You're right. There are.
Come on, bro. Like, what is the and that's the problem with like these platforms. This is my problem with Kevin Samuels and things like that. You're starting the conversation when the children are already here, and when everything is a majority of the conversations. This manosphere. This is my problem with MTR. All these motherfucking dudes. It's because y'all like to start the conversation after the children get here. You want to start the conversation, and I look at experience, bro. So if you already had a kid, big dog, you didn't have this conversation either, bro. If you still single, you not married, bro. You're literally a product of what you're telling men not to worry about. You're a product of that. So that should be your talking points and shit like that. Like a lot of times y'all want to yell at the women, and you are the product of everything that went wrong, and the men not being there for you, and the single mothership and stuff like that.
There are some, and me and Nate
I didn't say all. I'd say there are some.
No. And me and Nate talked about that at the beginning of the show and broke down the data. How the ones who are out there on that goofy shit is not the majority, and if a damn sure is not the men that me and Little Big Nate speak for, and
I understand that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let me also say this too. A lot of dudes are not getting pussy. Like, I had to tell women that, bro. A lot of dudes are just not getting pussy. They're not at a young age, so now they don't even have the opportunity to pregnate a woman because they're not getting pussy like that. And I know it takes like one try, but more times than not, it's not just the first try, bro. Like most women have self-respect in themselves to make a nigga wear a condom. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that narrative out there either, that women are just like in totality are just letting dudes just not wear a condom and things like that. And things do happen. There are certain situations in which like birth control has failed. You get right that the condom is broken and stuff like that. And I get that those are outliers, but there's still situations that happen in this mold, right? So, but let's get back into it.
I wasn't privy to that part of y'all conversation, and I think if I'm gonna make any points, I'm making points from my experience and the things I see. And I want no young man who's starting his life at 18 years old to go out there and make these pitfalls when they don't have to. Number one, there are certain women that you just go lay with, you just go kick it with, but you got to understand that's a difference between a woman that you want to bring a child who's not asked to come in this world. That's what I want to mark.
But all of that is.
But can I finish, TP? TP, I know y'all want to go down this line. I want to stop from going down this line because I'm pretty sure that y'all go echo some other things. I just wanted to hear the other side of the story too.
It's not the other side. That's
the
the
other
side of
side.
the story. That's not the other side. That's the side we address.
It doesn't matter if you address it's the other side, bro. You're having two different conversations. You're blaming women that they need to do better in picking. He's blaming men. And that's the thing too. Like I said, no one wants to hold accountability. You have a black man here checking men, and then you have them all going, this dude right here, I mean, he done made so many damn faces. I mean, what like what are you talking about? And the other dude right here, I didn't even know this was a guy. He's like, this is before OG. That's what he's talking about. Before. If we're going to, we got to make sure that we're teaching young men how to pick women beforehand. We have to. If you're going to have a conversation like this, you have to start at the people that you think are going to be the head of the households. Why are y'all starting with the women that are not supposed to be the head of the households? They're the ones that's supposed to be the supporter, right? They're the ones that's supposed to be provided for, right? So why would you start with them and not the dudes? You get what I'm saying? Even if it's not a lot of them, I can get that. But you know what else is missing from this conversation? Everybody thinks that like everybody just wants to have children. Like that the children are just falling out the fucking sky. Most of the time, bro, these dudes are selling dreams. Sometimes these dudes are getting close to marriage. And some of these women that are having, no woman wants to be, and I heard DJ Academic say this, so shout out to him. No woman wants to be the 20th baby mother. No woman wants to be the 20th baby mother. Like, I've never met a woman that wants to have more than 3 kids. I haven't. I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm just saying I haven't. And they don't want to be married and things like that. You get what I'm saying? Traditional women. I'm not talking about the outliers of women that just don't care about marriage and things like that. But most of them, they want to be married. They want children. They want all that big dog. No woman just goes out of her way to have this kid. Most of the time they have a kid thinking that they're going to get the ring from it, or thinking that they're getting close to marriage and things like that. And the nigga says, doodles, that's not on women, bro. That's not, bro. That's not. You can't always tell somebody, and I'll even say that for my men, you can't always tell someone to pick better because you don't know the circumstances. And that's all the brother's saying, bro. Like what the fuck?
I understand, but this is my closing statement, Bernard, because I have the right to make my Martin Luther King speech. My closing statement without being interrupted, please. Can I do that?
Well, if you throw out something that don't purport with the data,
I know, but y'all can always retort after I finish.
This is why, like, we call them incels too, right? They're not based off of like experience. They're the dudes that didn't get to always have the fun and shit. So they were sitting in there groaning and shit like that. Most of the time, data doesn't trump experience because we're all victims of our own microcosms, right? Some people don't fit within the data. You know, that's the problem with the data. And sometimes, bro, the data is manipulated too, based off of certain circumstances and things like that. Again, I can't fully go into a defense mode on the data because I just picked this video, but specifically, like data is not always finite as far as everything going on.
Yes, but I'm not saying anything you actually don't see in life. What I'm trying to say is there's too many of us. There's a lot of guys. When I say a lot of guys, I don't mean a greater number, but there are a lot of guys who lean towards trying to make everybody else. And then that, if you really want to call it a victim Olympics, you can have victim Olympics in everything. And so what I'm trying to do is keep these guys from going and saying they can use that as an excuse, because we go all make mistakes. None of us go be perfect. I understand that. But put yourself in a position to succeed in life, whatever you do. And that's from child to manhood to everything else. That's all I'm trying to bring to the table, to balance out the table. I'm not accusing anybody who listens to your show.
You are accusing if you're saying balance out the table, and that's the table that we're at. Somebody came in here and listen. Somebody came in here and super chatted. All this stuff y'all talking, I ain't doing all this stuff. I got to go through all that. I'd rather just be a deadbeat. And he said, #proud-deadbeat. I read that shit and I just deleted his super chat. And I don't even care if it was $100. I would just deleted that shit. People like that, I don't rock with. It's some dudes that be lurking around these chat rooms who done outed themselves as some serial impregnators, causing all the problems that they complaining about. Them dudes don't get no run over here.
But Bernard, your platform ain't the only platform. And then on top of that, Bernard, let's be real. These are not the only four men that exist in the world. It doesn't matter what you're saying if they don't get no play here. The problem is that they're out in the real world. So that's what's wrong with these YouTube niggas. Is that they're out there in the real world actually doing what that you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that OG is 100% right or anything on some of the stuff that he's saying, but I'm also saying that, big dog, the fact that y'all don't want to listen to the conversation is enough for me to make the deduction that you guys don't want to hold those men accountable as well. You like there needs to be an echo chamber of both if that's going to be the case. You get what I'm saying? But that's just how I see it, big dog. Y'all seen the other clips about to come up. I didn't want to play that bullshit. Them yelling and doing all that shit, man, that's unnecessary on these fucking platforms when y'all supposedly are trying to fix the black community and talk about it and shit. But whatever, man. Like, subscribe, comment, peace.